Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Enclave Plasma Rifle Prototype mod, which is being made by user 10B2010. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is, well, a fun new plasma rifle, and it is beautiful. And I have really been enjoying my time with this thing so far, as I mean, come on, who doesn't love a new fun energy weapon? So let's have a look at what we do get here in the Pip-Boy. And now this is a nice shiny one that I've fixed up and made look good. When you actually find this gun in the world, though, it looks like this, all old and rusty, because basically it was a prototype made pre-war that was left behind, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. Now, in its standard rusty form, it'll do 40 physical damage and 40 energy-based damage with a new EPRP ammunition type with a firing rate of 33, range of 187, accuracy of 156, and a weight of 17.6. All in all, on its own, a pretty decent little weapon, and even rusty, oh man, does it look good. The modeling on this thing and the texturing is pretty spectacular. But yeah, once you do fix this thing up and get some more powerful modifications in there, oh, is it magnificent. Now, I do have a few gripes about the mods, which we'll talk about in a moment, but first, how do you get this gun? Well, I have 3 because I've cheated. There is only one of these in the world, and that's that rusty version, and you'll find it over in the glowing sea in that surveillance base under the abandoned shack. It'll be all the way on the bottom floor, hidden under the stairs. Thus, why it's rusty. Basically, this was an Enclave prototype built before the war and left under a set of stairs for all these years. Thus, it's not looking too great until you make it all shiny. So let's have a look first at actually the chemistry station. Since this does use its own custom ammunition type, we can make it here in the chemistry station under the EPRP cartridge category, where you can either make it using aluminum circuitry and plasma cartridges, but if you don't have any plasma cartridges on hand, you can actually use this other recipe, which will then also use nuclear material and springs, though it will require an additional rank in science, where we get 1 with the plasma cartridges and 2 with the nuclear material and spring. And every time you make one of these, you will get 60 rounds for you to fire, which is pretty handy. Now, on to the modifications. Let's head over to our weapon workbench here and take a look just at the rusted one here. And first, in the capacitor category, we have the standard rusty capacitor, but then we can fix it up to a not so rusty standard capacitor, which will not add any additional damage or anything like that. It just won't be rusty anymore. Effectively, you just clean the thing up. Then we have a boosted capacitor, maximized capacitor, and finally an overcharged capacitor. So just increases in damage as you go. Now, next we have the barrel categories, where we have some more fun things. Now, again, standard, we have the rusty version, but you can also change it to a shotgun, a improved concentrate shotgun, an improved concentrate barrel for exceptional damage and range, a concentrate barrel, an automatic magnetic barrel, a regular magnetic barrel, which is basically, again, the rusty one, all cleaned up, an improved automatic magnetic barrel, an improved magnetic barrel, and finally an overcharged magnetic barrel, which will give you the highest damage this gun can achieve, which is pretty darn fun. Now, next we have the sights, where the first one is the rusty iron sights. Now, the next is labeled as reflex, but it's actually not reflex. It is the cleaned up version of the iron sights, so a little misnaming there. And then the other 2 reflex sights are indeed reflex sights. This one only zooms in a little bit. This one zooms in quite a bit more, and of course will improve the accuracy more, which is pretty handy. So not exactly the most perfectly labeled things here, but apparently this is this mod maker's first modeled weapon mod, so give them a little bit of leeway. Hopefully, though, these do improve and maybe we get some additional options in the future. Now on to the rest of the modifications, which are the most finicky of all of them. These are the finishes, so you can actually color each individual section of the gun. And this being this mod maker's first go at this sort of mod, it's kind of a little bit odd in that only certain parts can actually be painted. Now, I actually am just realizing I forgot a section, so we'll go back here real quick to the stock category, where we either have the standard rusty, a pistol, a sniper, and a rifle stock. And the reason that reminded me to go back here is because, well, we have two different categories for the stocks. You can either paint the sniper stock or the rifle stock. But if you have the pistol or the standard rusty, yeah, neither of these categories will actually work. But, yeah, that's kind of a weird bit there. And same with the barrel, we have the two different barrel finish categories, just depending on which of the barrels you did choose. So I believe this one's the normal barrels and this one's the magnetic barrels. The receiver category, though, one is sort of all of them, except for, of course, the rusty. So let's actually head over to this one real quick, my shotgun version that I made, and head to the receiver category so you can at least see the different paint schemes. So we have either a Desert Army, a Digital Red, Digital Blue, EPRP Receiver Black, which is the standard, a Navy Blue camo, and a Unique America camo. And yes, so once you just figure out which of these categories go with which of the parts to edit, then you can actually color each of them. A little awkward, but it does function, and so long as you choose the right one, you'll be okay. And that is it for the different modifications here, so let's actually take some shots, and let's start with the rusty standard version there. And we actually have some pretty good iron sights on this. They're quite useful. I very much do enjoy them, but let's get some shots. And yeah, pretty standard plasma shot and sound, but a very good accuracy on this weapon. As you can see, even in its standard capacity, it holds quite a few rounds at 60 shots per whatever cartridge this thing is called again, and it functions quite well. Now, the animation on the reload, the part for the gun is quite good, and the actual movement of the hands is one of the stock animations. But all in all, you know what, I'd say it works pretty well together. It's not too crazy. It really only needs some minor adjustment, and it should be good. Now, let's take a look, of course, at our then marksman version, and show you the highest magnifying reflex sight there. As you can see, it gives us a pretty good zoom, and this one has oh boy, which of them? Yes, the overcharged capacitor on there, which gives us the ability to also have all of our ammunition in the gun without having to reload, which is pretty good. Probably should have put that on the sniping one because, well, I mean, don't exactly need that when you're sniping, but still, hey, it works out well. And with this nice zoom in on the reflex, you get some pretty good accurate shots. And then finally, we have, I think, my favorite version of the gun here, which is a shotgun plasma rifle. And actually, technically, this one's a pistol with the pistol handle there. So let's fire. There we go. And this reflex sight, as you can see, not zooming in near as much as the other. And I just love a plasma scatter shot. It's just hilarious, and it amuses me greatly. But yes, that is the lovely Enclave Plasma Rifle Prototype. So let's go test this out against our usual subjects, and we'll do the sniping against Will, as per usual. And then we'll try and, oh boy, run down Randy the Radstag with the shotgun barrel. Oh, I always feel bad about shooting him when he's playing with his teddy bear there, but oh well. Fire, and down in one shot. Wow, that's the best shooting I've done on this series in a while. So let's switch over to the shotgun version and run down Randy and hopefully not have any enemies over here ruining my chance. But it looks like we are good. I'm not seeing any rust devils to get in my way. Hi, Randy, how are you? And goodbye, goodbye. 2 shots with the shotgun. There we go. Wonderful. Well, yes, that actually went a lot better than normal. I actually shot decently today. But that is really everything for the Enclave Plasma Rifle Prototype mod. It's honestly a pretty good go for this particular mod maker's first try at something like this. So, a very fun weapon. I love that it is an Enclave prototype from pre-war. That very much interests me. And that you do have to go to the world to find the one version of it. Again, I do enjoy that sort of stuff. But overall, a pretty fun, entertaining weapon, which I do hope improves with time. But that is going to be it for today. If you'd like to check out this mod for yourself, which I would certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But I do hope you have enjoyed this episode and you do come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one!